Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and it is the Nerdrotic Nooner. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody's doing okay. We've got some stuff to talk about, but the most important thing is I want to talk to you guys. That's what this is all about. So let's get started. I want to let's a few more people come in. And of course, we'll talk about the big news of the weekend, which was the Star Trek's Governor Award that was passed out on Star Trek Day. I've done a previous video on this, but I actually recorded a video about who accepted it, and a particular article written by Deadline Hollywood, which has so much bad grammar. It really needs to be pointed out. And if I notice grammatical errors, that's bad. That's very bad, because I'm not the one, I'm not an English lit major. We'll just say that. So yeah, it was pretty piss poor. I had recorded a video on it on Saturday and I decided not to put it out, which was cool because Random did a much better video on it. And then Doomcock had a great live stream last night, which I was in the chat for. And I know a lot of you were. That was a lot of fun. Man, he's getting really good at the live streaming stuff. So really proud of him. Really proud of my liege. I was accused by one commenter of being what's up with all the worship of Doomcock. Obviously, one does not know Doomcock. I don't know if it's a worship. It's yeah, I'm not a hero worship kind of person. I just root for Doomcock. He is a good villain, super villain. No, a good guy, really good guy. And as we get to know each other more, maybe there's possibly some separated at birth shit going on. I am adopted, so we don't know. But yeah, a lot of things in common. And we have a lot of things in common with Tom and Mecca too. That's why the Tribunal is going to be a lot of fun. And our first Tribunal show is coming up in a little over a week. It looks like we haven't totally decided on a date, and I haven't even checked my Twitter messages this morning. I've been running around, running errands, going to AA meetings, getting a kid off to school. You know how it goes. I don't like Doomcock, but you can like whoever I wish. Yes, I can, Mako. Thank you. But I love Doomcock. I freaking love Doomcock. And hail Doomcock, says RoloCat. Yes. But yeah, hey, not everybody is for everybody. There's a lot of people who don't like me or us here at the channel, and that's fine. That's kind of what I got out of VidCon. What YouTube is going for now is, while the short 10-minute videos are still kind of the thing you want to do, the recorded ones, they really want people moving over to live streams. So gone are the days, I think, of the multi-million subscriber channel. I think those days are probably kind of gone because of the way YouTube has structured everything. But if you're into slow growth, I think live streaming is the way to go, because you get people on your channel for a longer amount of time, and that's what they want. They want more eyes on YouTube. And with all of these articles about the streaming wars, which I think Midnight's Edge is going to trademark, which they should. What doesn't get mentioned is YouTube, and how many people are going to YouTube, which I find very interesting. We're still flying under the radar, which is fine. I know, like, there's Jimmy Kimmel's here and all the late night dudes, but I think people are going to start coming to just regular folk, regular old folk. So, they can get the non-shill opinion. And sometimes we have unpopular opinions, like last night's Iron Fist review. It's probably an unpopular opinion, but I don't care. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. And I had an epiphany this morning when I saw Grace Randolph's review, and she absolutely loved it. And I like Grace Randolph. I like some of her stuff. I don't agree with everything she says, but she does have some pretty good takes, and she's pretty damn knowledgeable. She did used to work for Marvel, but that was a show made for her, and that's cool. But yeah. Just Reed said, there's you, Mead Random, and the Great Overlord. Tried Geeks and Gamers, but not for me. Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. I like Jeremy. I watched some of his videos. It was really fun to see him grow because I was watching his videos when he had 800 subs, and watching him go to like 80,000 in that short a time is incredible. Now there is a trick to that, and there is a trap to that eventually, which I'm sure he's thought a lot about. I don't need to give Jeremy any unsolicited advice, especially since he's got thousands of more subscribers than I do. But you got to wonder if it's kind of like if I opened a comic store and I just wanted to sell one comic or one comic brand, like if I just wanted to be a Star Wars comic store, I might do well for certain parts of time, but I'm not going to do well in the long run. So that's why we like to mix it up here. And TV's not going away anytime soon. And it's a total accident that we attached ourselves to TV. I wanted to be a comic book channel, but it was surprising. I go over the analytics quite a bit on this channel, and I found that like the superhero stuff is the stuff you are least interested in, you the viewer, and we listen to that stuff. It's surprising, but that's the way it goes. You got to go with what your analytics say somewhat. There's a couple I completely ignore because it would require me making drastic changes to the channel, which I don't want to do. But let's get to the chat. And good morning, Mako, Jess Reed, Morks, the great Ed Brewer. Oh, you're all great, by the way. Philip A. Demick, Mary Ashmead. How you doing, Mary? You feeling okay? You feeling better? I've always got you in the back of my mind, Mary. And Penn Farm Girl and Rolo Cat. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah. Yeah, Mork says she knows a ton, but her voice, her voice is not one for radio. And I don't want to pick on anybody's personal appearance. She's an attractive young lady. That's fine. Her hair. My wife and I were watching a video, and that's where my wife does hair, so that's where she goes automatically. She goes, "Oh my God, who does her hair?" So I can offer. She offered to free services for Grace Randolph if she wants to come out to San Francisco. Get a balayage or something like that, get a blowout. We will offer our services. But she does have pretty good takes on some stuff, especially when it's the movie math. That's good. That's good stuff. I don't agree with her in taste, but that's okay. We don't all have, listen, I don't agree with my wife on everything with taste. We disagree on a lot. So, and I don't agree. I'm sure Doomcock doesn't agree with everything I say. And I don't know. I haven't totally disagreed with Doomcock yet, but on Infinity War, I disagree with him on Infinity War. Most of the people got popular because they hated The Last Jedi. There are very few YouTubers who have a really good content, Nerdrotic being one of them. Aw, thank you, Mako. You are the best. Yeah, that's I want to tread carefully here because I don't want to sound like I'm not criticizing them. They can do what they want with their channel, and it is obviously a huge success, and hats off to them. All my respect. I subscribe to all those channels. But yeah, the hate for Star Wars can only go so far for me personally. It gets like way too negative, and plus it's just a 2-hour movie. I know Star Wars is more than a movie to a lot of people, and it was for me for a long time, but just for me, it's more bad than good, and I don't think it's worth the time people put into it. But it's also kind of a cathartic thing because I think a lot of people are just really upset with what happened to their property, and they just feel like they don't have an outlet. And when they go to some other outlets, they're told they're being, attacked. So that's not right. There's a way to write these articles and stuff going, okay, you might not like Last Jedi, but we could just agree to disagree or something like that. Of course, I know that doesn't do shit for clicks. But that's kind of the adult angle you want to take towards it. But I was pissed. I was super pissed when I got out of that movie. But we did a 2-hour review, and we brought on John, who liked it, and we tried to do a point counterpoint. And a couple people watched it. It's okay. Makeover. Yeah, a good little makeover montage with Grace Randolph. That'd be cool. I liked her. I watched her all the time when she was on, what was that? The Watchers, the Marvel show, The Watchers. She looks a lot different now. I don't know what it is. She just because for the longest time I was watching beyond the trailer and I didn't know I was watching the girl, the lady from the Watchers. I did not know, and I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. Um, I like Doomcock, but I wish he wouldn't be so timid about his feelings on Star Trek dysentery. Yeah, he needs to stop holding back on that. I feel like he's holding back a little bit. Yeah. Um, came here after STD started. Yeah, Star Trek Discovery was quite a thing for this channel. It was us testing our boundaries because it was the first thing we openly criticized. And, I didn't even at first. I'm going back and watching some of those recaps. And, there's times I gave it a ton of chance. But The Expanse brought me here. The fun kept me here, says Slurmy Scott. That's right. And that's, we want to be fun. Okay. There is a way to be critical and fun without being mean. I try to avoid being mean on a personal level, but I don't know. Last night, Iron Fist did get to me. It for lack of a better word, triggered the hell out of me. But it's not for the show itself. It's for seeing it in so many places. What was going on with the show and the basically branding and billing something and then giving you something else. Now, if they would have just called it Daughters of the Dragon, or if they would have hinted more at Colleen Wing is going to be Iron Fist now, that's not how they branded it. That's not how they sold it at Comic-Con. So I guess they subverted our expectations. Let me tell you about subverting expectations. I think that is something that was made up to deflect criticism. I think it's total bullshit. Subverting expectations. Like, how do you know what people's expectations are? So you're going into this movie going, okay, I know what people's expectations are. I'm going to subvert them. Unless you're a fucking psychic, that's bullshit. Okay, calling total bullshit on that. Just read. I am one of those who like The Last Jedi as a movie, as a trilogy. I don't have a lot of hope for the full sequel trilogy. Yeah, and that's okay. I don't. Star Wars, it depends on what lens you're seeing it through, and it depends on how old you are, and hey, there's probably some old fans who do like it, and it's all about expectations. And when you go in, and some are met and some are not, and everybody's different. So to say you're subverting, I'm sure every filmmaker is subverting some expectations. Please. Here we go. Spoilers. Preacher's previous season brought me in, haven't left, says Pam Farm Girl. Yeah, it's cool to hear like the Preacher, because Preacher is so near and dear to my heart. It is everything I love about comic books. And maybe that's something, maybe I don't like superheroes as much as I used to. I still crack open an old comic and I feel the same joy I did when I was a kid. So I think mainly with comic books is just the art right now. I'm right there with Feisty. I am into the comic art first before the writing, and the art has just been terrible. But I love it as an art form, as a medium. It is beautiful to me. I met Gary on another channel and subbed to him after hearing the voice. Yes, Ed Brewer. Yes, Ed and I frequented the chat of Englandine and comics division, which I still check out. I saw I Love Comics has gotten a lot more subs. That's good. That's good. I know he was going through a little transitional period. He stuck with it. And that's good. And growth is good. We've had like these weird spurts of growth, which is great. It's made me really rethink some of my plans. Now my eye is still on the prize of wanting to open another comic store, but yeah, it's nearly at 10,000. That's great. Once you hit the 10,000 mark, you get the community tab, which means I can communicate with you through YouTube. So I can go, hey, running late, or hey, there's going to be a new video. I can like communicate with you directly through the YouTube feed, which I can't wait for. And it's funny that you bring that up because that's kind of our goal. If we hit 10,000 by the end of the year, early next year. That really plays into the fact of what we're going to do here. Now I could never do YouTube full time. It just does not bring in the kind of coin I'm going to need to survive here in the big city. Now, if we move someday, that could be totally different. But right now everything's ridiculously expensive. So this whole podcast was supposed to be part of a comic shop, and it was going to be a comic shop / podcast. Podcast kind of went by the wayside, but then the YouTube thing, which we got into completely by accident, started working 3 years in. And now it's having me rethink some stuff, because I do want to do this a lot more, but it's starting to encroach on the day job. Now the day job, and the reason, I'm like late for some stuff or have to cancel some videos is because I have a day job that I'm at 12 hours a day. When you're counting in driving time and everything, I'm gone 12 to 13 hours a day. And I do have a family, and I have to pay attention to them. I have a kid, who requires tutoring and stuff. My son, Logan, is a bit on the spectrum, as they say. He just got mainstreamed, which we're super psyched about, but he was in the special needs classes almost all the way through elementary school. And then he got mainstreamed, and which is great due to I have to say, the San Francisco school system, when it comes to kindergarten through 6th grade, 7th grade, is spectacular. They're really fucking good. When it gets to junior high, it's a different story. But yeah, he requires some attention, which is cool. I have no problem doing. But I haven't been able to see him as much as I'd like. So yeah, and I make no secret that I also I don't know. The whole Tesla thing's been kind of weird lately. How'd you guys like my boss smoking a blunt on the Joe Rogan podcast? That was fun. That was fucking so funny. I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I mean, I don't partake in stuff like that, but it's legal here in California, and I find it so goddamn refreshing that a big CEO of a big company is smoking a blunt with fucking Joe Rogan. That is brilliant. So 420, my man, spark it up, Elon. Fucking love you. And yeah, it's legal. And listen, I know the adult approach to that, and I know the shareholders are not happy, I'm sure, but they're never happy. Who gives a rat's ass? We're trying to build a car. We're trying to make the world a better place, as they say in Silicon Valley. And it's kind of working. Charlie Murphy, nonetheless. I know, right? And then, oh, Charlie's gone too. Rest in peace, Charlie Murphy. I miss you. Mary, just listen to some smooth Gary linguistics and relax. Mine too. My son Logan's wasn't caught until middle school. Oh, really, Mary? Wow. I think there's the spectrum's a broad thing. Okay, so it at first we thought it was full-blown autism, but then through some studies, and we were pretty diligent catching it early. It could definitely be worked with. So listen, I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble, but who cares? That's why we come here, right? I think Elon Musk is on the spectrum in some aspect, and not even in a negative way. And the spectrum is not necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of freaking geniuses were, and I'm sure you guys know that too. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Just some of his mannerism stuff, I freaking love him though. And when he was talking about the flamethrower, when you find out it's just a roofing torch, that's all it is, which is perfectly legal. They just thought he was hyperactive, and that's what I was diagnosed with. They wanted to put me on Dexedrine when I was a kid. Prime example of Temple Grandin, someone who's made a Temple Grandin, someone who's made the best of a strange situation, says Ken Jack Ben. Yes. That's what survivors do. That's what critical thinkers do. I mean, there's so many different types of intelligence, Ken Jack Ben. There's, the street smarts, and there's book smarts, and there's problem solving. I find that problem solvers, especially in recovery, there's a ton of really good problem solvers. Now, when it comes to personal problems, they might have a bit of a blind spot, but one thing you learn in an addiction, and it's a bad way to learn it, is you find every way you can to get your drug to cop, and it requires your mind to think of really strange shit. Now, you can actually apply that to a positive. You can apply that to problem solving, and that's what I tell all my sponsees is like, you take every skill you've learned that's deemed as a bad skill, fucking drug dealing, hustling. Life is hustling. So you just point that in a positive direction where you're not hurting anybody or breaking any laws, and you teach yourself, or addiction, it's something we have. It's and it's not something you can turn off. So you just try to focus the hyperactivity to something positive. I collected comics. Collecting comics actually kept me off drugs. Working out kept me off drugs. Is it the best way? No, you got to constantly work on it. But yeah, the city is dying, dude. I loved it back in the old days, but let it go before the board of supervisors ruins it completely. Is that San Francisco? Yeah. You work for Tesla? You seriously telling me you live in San Francisco and work in Fremont? No, I don't work in Fremont. That's madness. Move out to Livermore or something. You commute from there. No, I don't work in the Fremont anti-dem. I work in San Rafael, which is still a pretty crappy commute, to be honest with you. I do get to drive over the Golden Gate Bridge every day. That's awesome. That never gets old. I mean, it's expensive as hell, but I used to drive over the Bay Bridge every day. That sucked. Hey, Gary, no notification for this one, just your test. It was probably my test that screwed up the notification movie, Fanobi. Yeah, the notification thing, it's like 1 out of every 3 videos, because I didn't get one either. And I have it set up to notify me. And I, sometimes I get my notification halfway through the video. I should share this on Twitter. I didn't even think about that. So we'll just chat while I do that. And then I'm going to get to a couple articles here. So I can't see the chat right now. So talk amongst yourselves, please. And I'll get right to you. While I get this Twitter thing going. Did anybody watch any good television this weekend? If you watched Iron Fist, then you didn't, unfortunately. God dang, freaking Iron Fist. My God. So another thing that I forgot to mention in my Governor's Award video is, which we're going to get into, is the Governor's Award, which on its surface is great that Star Trek got it. I'm very happy they got it. It is so overdue and well deserved, and should have been on their 50th anniversary. It should have been 10 years ago. It should have been 20 years ago. But seeing it used as a promotion for Star Trek Discovery, which is a point Doomcock pointed out. Please. All right, here we're at the video. Oh my God, I'm hearing myself. I can't stand that. Make sure to lick that button, everybody. Make sure to lick that button. I know I forgot to do something before I went live here. I'm sure this is very exciting. People to see me sharing stuff on Twitter live in the air. Man, I never thought I'd come back to Twitter. I never thought I'd come back to Twitter. It was such a time suck. I got into, it was about like my 5th year of owning the comic store, and I was into 2 things that would completely distract me from the store. I was in the City of Heroes. I don't know if you guys remember that game. I fucking love that game so much. And Twitter. And between that, I was just like, thank God I had a manager at that time. I was like, I was really dicking around a lot at work. Yeah. Not going to put in too many hashtags here because that'll take forever. Sorry, folks. I apologize. I put 1. Now, since there was no notifications, there, that's done. Okay, great. Cool. We'll get some more people in here, but we have just enough. There's a lick emoji. Of course, there's a lick emoji. Jesus Christ. Oh. Mary Ashby says, I watched older Doctor Who season 12 and 13 with Tom Baker. Yeah, they just released Tom Baker's first complete season on Blu-ray just in time for 4K to come out. And I plan to review that for the Patreon channel, maybe bring it over to the regular channel. It is glorious. I love it so goddamn much. I fucking love Tom Baker. And I had forgot how many I had watched when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, I used to sit around and just draw on the floor and have PBS on in the background, and that's how I got. I think that's the commonality between so many nerds within my age range, within 10 years of my age range or 15, is so many of us were fed the same stuff. And Monty Python at an early age, I think, is a very positive thing. It's something I show my kid. I force him to it. Yeah, I think it's a very positive thing. I think Monty Python and reading Douglas Adams increased what limited vocabulary I have. I love the Puff. It was a much ado about nothing. He took a single drag of a half tobacco, half grass. I'll say grass. It's weird. YouTube's weird about that. Had 3 glasses of whiskey over a 3-hour period. People should watch the show. Great topics covered, says Philip A. Demick. Yes, highly recommend that podcast. Joe Rogan is freaking good. I love Joe Rogan. I get a little tired of him. I mean, he even brought up mushrooms to Elon, and I'm like, dude, let the mushroom thing go. They're fine. They're great. They work for you. They work for a lot of people. They will not change the world, okay? Because they don't work for everybody. They are good for some, very bad for others. I would not recommend mushrooms if you have, something like dissociative personality disorder, a little bit of schizophrenia. Not good. Not good. That could really, I've seen some very negative effects from that stuff. And I've seen some really positive effects from that stuff. Everybody's different, and I'm glad it works for him. And I just think it's funny how he presents. But I like Joe Rogan. There's 2 podcasts in particular I watch over and over. Doomcock mentioned in his live stream last night that he goes to sleep to ground zero because his mind is always racing, and I am the exact same way. I've always had tons of trouble just going to sleep. So I either listen to an audiobook, I throw on The Expanse audiobook, listen to some Jefferson Mays, or Douglas Adams reading Dirk Gently, which is one of my favorites. Graham Hancock reading Fingerprints of the God, or no, Magicians of the Gods. He has such a smooth voice, you can go to sleep just like that. But the Joe Rogan, Randall Carson, Graham Hancock, there's like 3 of the podcasts right before they get to the debate. That one I don't like, but there's 3 podcasts on ancient civilizations that I highly recommend if you haven't seen them. They have millions of views. They're brilliant. They're so brilliant. Doomcock mentioned last night he's a bit of a conspiracy theorist, or not theorist. He's into it. Okay, I don't want to say he's a conspiracy theorist. That's not true. Let me dial that back. He said he's into that kind of stuff, and so am I. As a form of entertainment. Okay, I don't wear my tinfoil hat all the time, but I own one. I will say I've been known to take it out on special occasions. So I would love to do a live stream on that. That'd be funny. Jess Reed says, gotta go. Catch the rest later. Stay beard winning. Jess Reed, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you coming in, hanging out with us. Have a great day. Yeah, check it out if you can. It's cool. It's all good. Artemis over easy. Elon loves the spliffs. Great interview. You could just see the man has alien level DNA straight up. Yeah. If you want to talk about hybrid, yeah, he's an alien hybrid. He would be my first pick. Joe Rogan also had Paul Stamets, the fungi expert, on that show. Yeah. The one that, the character in Star Trek Discovery is named after. Yes. He had his little mushroom hat. Yeah. I saw that one. That was pretty good podcast though. That was good. Why do I accept those theories more than religious theories? I don't know. I just do. Same here, Ed Brewer. I see them as the same. I see them as we all have belief systems. We can choose to believe what we want. There's some point where the evidence has to come in to effect. But I shared in the Nerdrotic channel group, Bright Insights awesome video on the Atlantis theory and the Rakat structure, or the Eye of the Sahara, which I had never heard of. And now there is the whole fact that it's 1,300 feet above sea level, but everything else eerily matches up to Plato's description of Atlantis, the rings. Now, chances are it's a natural structure, but you know, nature is fractal. Nature it repeats itself on small and large levels, and there is nothing on Earth like the Rakat structure. It is bizarre. Now, it could be an impact zone. It kind of looks like a meteor, but and if you do look at some pictures of Mars, there are some impact things with some rings in the middle. So it's probably that. But yeah, woo woo time with Gary, says David Fox. But as Jimmy puts it on Bright Insight, it's like, I'm not going to say it's Atlantis, but I'd have my mind open to it. Why not? Sounds like a load of bullocks. Sorry, says Nigel. Yeah, I mean, it most likely is Nigel, but you never know. I don't know for a fact. But never mind the bullocks, Nigel. Never mind the bullocks. Atlantis was never real, and it was an idea of Plato used for a perfect society, kind of like a Federation for Star Trek. I even read the book before he mentions it. So no, so that's a no on that one for me. And that's cool. That's cool, but I don't know if you've read Fingerprints of the Gods or Magicians of the Gods. It is Graham Hancock gathering a lot of evidence for an ancient civilization. We're not saying it was Atlantis. We're not saying it was a city with spaceships and everything. I think there is a lot of evidence for a pre-Diluvian civilization that's been wiped off the map. That was probably Stone Age culture, but probably an advanced Stone Age culture. Look at some of those rocks. Look at how they were cut. We can't do that today. So I think that's interesting. I think it's interesting. Proto-molecule hybrid, Elon. Yes. Oh, that's not good. if you see him mumble, Slurmy Scott, like, yeah, the work must continue. Continue the work. I did read them, but the idea of Atlantis is a perfect society. It falls apart because of the moral decay. Thomas More did the same with Utopia. Yeah, that's probably what it is. But you could also say that he, Plato had gotten that from his Solon, his relative, who had gotten it from the Egyptians. That was from a temple that has since been buried by the Nile, unfortunately. So, as with all things like the telephone game that Jimmy even mentions, there might be some truth in there that have just been completely distorted over thousands of years. Mary Ashby loves the ancient civilizations. There's some weird stuff. That's what that's why yeah, it's just weird. I'm not saying it's true. But I am not the kind of person who just flatly denies things just because it sounds weird. I've seen too many weird things. It's yeah. I don't think I've got it all figured out. We know damn well that there has been no advanced civilization since survivors of the 12 colonies of man landed 150,000 years ago into the last 1,000 years, says Nigel. But Nigel, what's happened before will happen again. We got to remember that. I miss BSG. I do. What was the 20-second live stream an hour ago? Was it even 20 seconds, Slimac? It was me practicing my OBS software, just making sure it worked. And I hit the stream key and then I hit start, and I was going to plan to delete it right away. But I forgot I made it public. I did that with our Patreon hangout too. Our Patreon hangout was kind of public for a while, and that's okay because it was brilliant. I'm very proud of that Patreon hangout. Maybe we'll put that on the channel later. It was funny. It was hilarious. Movie Fanobi was on fire, but I would probably, if I put it up, it'll be audio only because some people showed their faces and we don't want to show anybody's face if they don't want to be seen. Evidence of nuclear tests or reactors will be with us for thousands of years. Yes. Yes. 20 seconds, 101 views. Let's get it to 10,000. I don't even see it on my channel more because I've been trying to go up there to delete it. And it's like, it's not popping up for me. So I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe it needs to be archived or something. I'll worry about that later. But it's still live with the 140,000 views here. Let me see. Yeah, maybe there's something I can do about it. Let's go over here. And then I'm going to read, I'm going to show, well, I don't know if we're going to read the article, but I got to show a picture of William Shatner with one of the new Klingons. It's just, why did they do that? It says it's offline. And yeah. Stream options. Yeah. I don't even have a chance to turn it. Yeah, I got to wait till it flips over to a video. And we'll see. We'll see. Because I didn't want to, I actually didn't want to use the Mikey Spock in the title. That belongs to Doomcock. So I'm like, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use it. Yep, still not a video. So yeah, it's going to be there till I figure it out. But that's okay. It'll probably go away once I do another. So I was going to do the room tour on that one, but also we're going to have some production value. Oh man, there's a crazy light here. Hang on, folks. I'm going to get that reflection out of here. There. That's better. So yeah, I'm an editor. I can edit stuff. So I want to really inspired by the Anti-Trekker. And so I want to do, I'm not going to copy them completely, but I want to be able to put videos up and some production value. I've been working on a theme song. I've been working on that forever. Yes, sunlight in San Francisco. Well, it's September. We get sunlight in September. It's our Indian summer. It lasts like 48 hours. What's up, Feisty? Bob Art Smith, Rough Girl, Nigel. Hello, Nigel. Apple Crow. What's up, Apple Crow? How's it going? Of course, we had Ed Brewer, Mako, Mary Ashmead. Ladies and gentlemen, the best chat on YouTube. Put your hands together. Put your hands together. All right. Slurmy Scott, Mary Ashmead, Artemis Over Easy, Bernfred Axvelder. Hello, Bernfred. How was the shower? It was cleansing. It's very cleansing. It was warm. I washed behind my ears. Yeah. Jean Moulton. How's it going? Liam Hodgetts. Did I say Hodgetts? Is that right, Liam? Correct me if I'm wrong. Apologies. Never be afraid to correct me on anything. That's fine. Wellington Smithopoulos. Nerdrotic, you have an amazing open mind. Wow. Thank you. I try. I don't know. If you watch the Iron Fist review, it doesn't sound very open. It's not very open. Well, it is. It's just, it's pissed. It's pissed. There's some stuff. Iontron, what is up? Did Elon name anything the Razorback? Oh, God, I wish he would. Yeah, I'm going to send another email because, I'm way less afraid of losing my job. As a matter of fact, I mean, it's temporary at this point. But yeah, I'm going to send him another email because I got zero response, Iontron. So I'm going to be annoying about it because I think it would be awesome if we just we're out in the belt at some point and just a ship goes by and it says SpaceX on it, or yeah. And for one, I mean, like well, Tesla's not really big on. I think our one big advertisement was sending a car to Mars. I think, which really backfired on us. Believe me, if I had a nickel for every time I heard, "Well, you could send a car to Mars, but you can't get my window regulator," I'd be rich. Elon, I need sleep. Musk, yes. David Fox. He was sleeping under, but the dude works. I mean, he sets an example. He works his ass off. There's a problem with that, though. I am gonna say, like, as somebody who used to own a business, it was no effort for me to spend 16 hours a day, sleep overnight at my job, but to expect that of my employees is ridiculous. Okay, they're there, they're getting paid. We have a contract to work 8 hours. To expect employees to work overtime all the time. And then I don't even know if Elon knows about this, but Labor Day, having people come in on Labor Day, kind of fucked up. Need your days off. Time you can't get back, people. And yes, they offered to pay, which is cool. But everywhere I've been, you've been offered the choice. I didn't like that. I wasn't happy with that. I was very corporate of them. And, yeah, not a fan of that. The Storm Apocalypse 2018. Everyone is buying water and bread like there's no tomorrow. What the fuck? Oh yeah, is what, Florence coming towards you guys right now? Are you in that path, rough girl? You be careful. All right, you be cool. You can always come out here to California. All right. I mean, there'll be an earthquake once in a while, but they're really not that bad. The best thing about earthquakes here is watching everybody react and go, "Whoa, earthquake, earthquake." It's like, yeah, I know the ground shaking. I got it. Who knows? Maybe we'll get one on the live stream. This is what we call earthquake weather. I mean, it's complete bullshit and there's no fucking science behind it whatsoever. But just because the 89 earthquake happened on a very dry, hot day, and some genius thought, well, heat rises and it comes through the crust, so it might cause a displacement. It's like, no, doesn't work like that. Bernfred Axvelder, Kirk and the Klingorks together smells like betrayal. It is. It's this Governor Award was a huge promotion for Star Trek Discovery. Now, if they would have brought out a Kelpian and an old Klingon, I understand why they didn't. They can't for some reason. There's rights, and Tom could answer this for Midnight's Edge. Les Moonves was shown the door this weekend, which is great. On a lot of levels. By all accounts, he was a major fucking perv. There's a lot of allegations that, listen, I'm going to tend to believe pretty much every Hollywood executive has, not everyone, but I bet you a lot have used their power for some gain, not sexual, but a lot of gains. Like there's, a lot of tomfoolery and shenanigans were to be had. There's no HR in Hollywood. And that's why we're getting this incredibly just horrible overcorrection in Hollywood right now, and they're scrambling, and it is affecting everything. It is when we are shown a television show, when we are shown Star Trek Discovery or Star Trek or anything, you're building a world, you're putting a spell on us, okay, and we buy into it, and we're into the story, and if that spell gets broken at any point, we're out. I mean, it's just like, then it's just a TV show and we start noticing mistakes, and it's just like, oh, this is silly, and why, and that's what's kind of happening right now. And what keeps the spell up is called good storytelling. We get enthralled with good storytelling, and we don't think about like why that person was cast, or why is this character making really stupid decisions. And I see that so much. It's actually the majority of television now. That's why we have the standouts like Counterpart in The Expanse, where goddamn the plot makes sense. Every character is fleshed out. I'm really bummed. I had to delay the Nemesis games review to next Sunday, but I wanted to do that one right because I really want to talk about Naomi Nagata and her moment to shine in that book. It was one of the best moments in the book series. It belongs to Naomi, and her storyline is so fucking unbelievable. And that's all the shit they talk about in these TV shows, but they just talk about it. They don't actually produce the content that backs up what they say. Naomi Nagata is everything you want in a character. I won't even like specify a gender. I'll just say a character. Goddamn. I hope they do that right. Amazon's going to do that right. That scene, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it. There's just an epic scene with Naomi that you will just be so happy about when you see it. Because it'll just, yeah. The Beatles. I'll just see the Beatles make up. I was alive when they were together for a couple of years. Yeah, love the Beatles. Top 5 cartoons are Real Ghostbusters, Captain Caveman, Batman, Justice League, and Justice League and 31 Ulysses cartoon, says Adam West. Real Ghostbusters is great. I don't remember Captain Caveman. Animated series, Justice League, Superman the animated series, Spider-Man in the 90s, and X-Men in the 90s. The Tick from the 90s. Yeah. Oh, and Venture Brothers is the greatest cartoon ever created, period. Star Blazers, great. Love Star Blazers. And Speed Racer. Oh my God. Yeah. I was going around. So I'm going through my garage. We're getting stuff prepped for the comic store, and I'm finding like original comic art I just stuck inside a book somewhere. And I'm like, holy shit. And I found a production cell from Speed Racer signed. I was like, what? I don't even remember getting this. Where did it come from? And it was sandwiched in between a comic. I was like, God damn, that's rad. It's like treasure hunting. The old Thundercats were great. Les Moonves out is I don't think it's going to change anything with Star Trek at all, by the way. That's what I meant to get to is that's done. All that stuff is done. It belongs to Alex Kurtzman, and it doesn't really matter who's running CBS. That deal is, there's a lot of money involved. Contracts have been signed. They cannot stop that anytime soon. You're right, Mako. Hollywood was always a den of perversion and sexism. Just read the Charlie Chaplin memoirs. Well said. From the beginning, they have 100 years of making up to do. They're not going to make up for it in 2018. And they don't, you know what? They just change now. Don't worry about making up. Okay. That's not something you need to worry about because you really have no power for it. And a lot of the people you wronged are dead, or it's too late. Just be better now, get better people in there now. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh God, what's the Orbuckle, the guy who killed a girl here in San Francisco in a hotel. Fatty Warbuckle. Is that it? I'm off on that name, but you know what I'm talking. He was some 1920s comedian. Yeah. And fuck. Just horrible shit has been going on forever, and we don't know the half of it, not even the 10th of it. So that's why it's so goddamn funny when they come out attacking fans and getting all, fucking on their moral high horse. It's actually funny. Oh, Gargoyles was good too. Albuquerque, you're right. Fatty Arbuckle. Thank you, Liam Hodgetts. Fatty Arbuckle killed a 20-ish year old girl in a hotel in San Francisco in the 20s or something like that. Big story back then. I think he got off. So like, what? But karma got him in the end. Yes, the guy who killed a woman with a glass bottle. It was absolutely disgusting. I mean, everything wrong with that. Am I doing American Horror Story? I feel like we've just come too late to that party, Rough Girl, but it is an anthology series. When does it start? When does it start? Man, I'm loving freaking Castle Rock. Oh my God, is that good? Now it depends on how it ends. We got the season finale coming up. If you haven't watched it, I recommend you do. It's got the almost seal of approval from Neurotic. It really depends how it ends, and then I'll give you the seal. The 13th. Oh, September 18th. Um, tell you. Now, is it a brand new series or is it carried over from anything? Is it like brand new? Because if it is, I will. We'll cover the first episode. Sure. Um, I have some cool shirts. Yes. Uh, I did a lot of shopping in my own comic store for t-shirts. This was a prototype. It never got put out because I mean below the foot it gets really gross. It's a smushed head. So I won't show that. But yeah, Derek gave this to me. Derek Robertson, he's the artist on this. He did the boys. Um, it's new. Okay, check it out. Yeah, Castle Rock is so good, says Mary Ashmead. It is. It is. It is. You got to get through the first 3 episodes. It's really important. You're gonna go, it's slow. It's slow. And like I did the same thing. But when you get to episode 8, you'll want to go back and rewatch them because there's so much crap in there that it is well put together. The guys writing that show, good job, guys. Not good enough for me to remember your name, but I will after the last episode. Every season is new and weird. I think you'll like it, Gary. Might be worth a Nerdrotic premiere check-in, says Mako. Okay, done. If Rough Girl and Mako say I should check it out, done. All right. Just FYI, American Horror Season 8 starts this Wednesday. Okay. That might... Are we doing the tribunal that day? Well, I'll let you know. As of now, I have nothing scheduled on 9/12, so let's do it. Let's do it, Artemis. Large, not an extra large t-shirt for me, says Ed Brewer. Yes, I'm going to need your t-shirt sizes soon. We are producing them here in San Francisco. We are giving our business to a small business, and we also know her because she used to work at the salon. Yeah, we want to help her out a little bit. She used to be a receptionist at our salon, and Nichelle, she's awesome and deserves a business. And I'm going to plug the shit out of her shop too. I just don't know if she's got a website and she does stuff, like by mail or. Yes, we will be doing Man in the High Castle. And I'm still waiting for Harold and Kumar's Man in the White Castle. I want them to do that. Rumor was John Wayne got his start when he had some Notre Dame football player bust in for a private movie screening. Ooh. I love American Horror Story. Oh God. There are things, I will just say, there are things I know about comic creators I cannot say, but very similar stuff goes on. And you know what? That goes on in office buildings. I saw that when I worked at a dealership. Yeah. It's horrible, horrible stuff. As long as there's people, horrible stuff will happen, unfortunately. American Horror Story, brand new, but this year it has elements, characters that carry over from previous seasons. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. Now, I still fight with that a little bit, not with people, but with just, covering Better Call Saul without seeing all of Breaking Bad. But Better Call Saul is its own show, and I love it dearly. Although it needs to get going a little bit. This season kind of, I don't know, every story except for Jimmy's is interesting. Jimmy's is starting to get interesting, but yeah. Man in the High Castle season 3 can't happen soon enough, says TJ Warner. Yeah, that is good stuff. I like that show a lot. Some seasons are better than others, Mako, but the acting has been great in every season. And that's the great thing about Castle Rock too. It's great acting. They sleep with the sheep. What? Uh, Sir, I was just trying to help the sheep over the fence. No, bad joke. Um, uh, Tommelfinger, please, for the love of Boar, stop watching Ancient Aliens. It is insulting to all humans and our ingenuity. Just saying. Oh God, no, I'm never gonna fucking stop watching that show. Ever, ever. I love every second of it. Ancient alien theorists say, yes, we all have digital implants. We're all human hybrids or alien human hybrids. Yeah, there's some crazy woo-woo stuff in that show. Uh, but I still enjoy it. Uh, Anyone here seen Let Us Pray with Liam Cunningham? Nope. What is it? Or I haven't. I can't speak for everybody. I have not gotten the news on the Dark Tower series. What is the news, Adam West? I will check. I didn't see a ton of. There's a bunch of like the big news today was the reshoots for the Avengers. I have a theory on that. Oh, and I also, yeah, I got to get into like our title stuff, man. I've been blabbing for an hour. Um, uh, as of June 12th, 2018, the only thing I see, unless there's something that came up on Twitter, is the Dark Tower TV series still has a pulse. Last summer, a film adaptation of Stephen King. It says it's still alive at Amazon. And if Amazon's behind it, I wouldn't be surprised. So okay. So there's two main things I want to talk about. I want to show that Star Trek picture and bitch about Star Trek a little bit, not much. And then I want to talk about Peak Nerd because I was listening to Jeff Hicks' morning show on the World Class Bullshitters, and he brought up a really interesting topic, and he was talking about we'll get to this now. What the hell? That's a good topic for now. And it'll relate into Avengers 4. What's up, Midnight's Edge? How's it going? I'm late. That's what I get for working. That's what you get for working, man. Star Trek Discovery. So with Big Bang Theory being canceled, thank God, he brought up, is it the end of the era of the nerd? And, at first you go, no, because Big Bang Theory it doesn't represent the era of the nerd. But then if you think about it, I mean, I don't like the show. Okay. I'm glad it's gone, but he makes a great point about when you relate it to normies. And, I think it might. But not by itself. Okay. The era of the nerd has been a long time coming. All right. This is something that has been slowly building. And it sounds kind of funny to us here in the chat because I will say most of us have probably been lifelong nerds and will continue to be lifelong nerds when we're not nerd du jour. Okay. And we're not always going to be nerd du jour. So have we reached peak nerd? And I'm going to say maybe. Maybe. I think with the ending of Big Bang Theory and the ending of Avengers, with the MCU coming to the end of a very epic, phase 4, 20-something movies in, as far as popular culture, as far as the masses, Star Wars stumbling, Star Trek stumbling, Marvel Netflix stumbling, I think it's a possibility that we could. Now, it's not going away for me. I'm always going to love this shit. I mean, I have no choice. And I think that's the same. I don't want to speak for everybody, but where is it going to go? Well, it's going to always be here, and it'll just get smaller, as all things do. But all things, peak, they do. And I think it was a really interesting conversation in relation to the Big Bang Theory because that show did bring a lot of people into comic stores and stuff. It did. I mean, it's undeniable. When I was working in my store, people go, it's just like the Big Bang Theory. And I'm like, yeah, except we have Marvel stuff, but it's okay. And so with the relation to that, I was talking about this last night on the Iron Fist thing. A great example of a trend reaching a point and then dying is metal. okay, a metal, and with Metallica. So we saw the 80s happen, and 80s metal was pretty damn popular. Was it the dominant music? No, but it was really, really popular for a long time. And we saw metal, metal had its start in the 60s, but we saw it build up, and then it kind of split up into a bunch of little things. And of course, metal is still around today. Of course, it's still around today, but it was the dominant music. Towards the end of the 80s, that even overshadowed punk. Kind of punk got swallowed into metal, and Metallica kind of became the figurehead of metal, even though they were not the best band at all. They were good, I liked them, but yeah. And I think it peaked with the Black Album, and right after that, right at the same time, and we still had Guns N' Roses around, fucking around, not making albums, but that's when Nirvana hit with Smells Like Teen Spirit. I remember the first time I fucking heard that song, it blew me away. I was like, oh my God, grunge turned out to be like this really sad form of music, which I learned to hate eventually, but mainly for killing metal, because metal was always fun. I love metal. And but when the Black Album came out for Metallica, that was kind of it for them. Now, of course, they're still around and they're immensely popular and they sell at shows, but they don't sell a lot of records anymore. They don't sell near what they used to, because they peaked. They peaked. The Black Album was a peak. It was not their best album. I actually kind of hated it, but I really love Injustice for All. I do. But yeah, so that's a great example of just something that took a long time to get there, and when it did, it peaked and it was gone as the dominant thing in pop culture. It's still around. It's very niche now. We have a great band out there called Ghost, which I love very much, with Mecca, having a lot of fun with, but it's not, it doesn't dominate music. Music doesn't even dominate pop culture. Things change. So what's next? I have no idea. There'll always be stuff. There will always be superhero movies. They're not going away forever. They're going on TV. But I think as far as us running the show, I think the days are numbered. I think, and that's fine. I'm kind of cool with that. I would be very happy for it, because I think a lot of the arguing will dial down. I think a lot of this is as the normies coming in, and and we have to adapt to what they like, or we think they do. And the point I will make again that I made last night was, normies like nerd stuff. They do. We don't have to change it for them. We don't have to change comic books for them. What we need to do is, the core nerd population, is bring them to the story. We just need, because they're not going to seek it out. That's not something they seek out. Once they see it, though, they're all, oh, cool, that's pretty rad, but it's not something they think about in their daily lives. So, a lot of these, companies like Marvel, they're thinking they have to become a lifestyle brand. What the fuck? No, you don't need to change. You just need to be Marvel and rely on comic shop owners or just fans to spread the word. And that's it. And just write good stories. And that's been part of the problem. Always late, worth the wait. That's right. So yeah, I think we kind of have. I think, but that's not a bad thing. It's not the end of the world. It's not nerd apocalypse. Nothing to panic over. Uh, uh, I'm not going to change my name to something else. Rodic, not erotic. It's going to be Nerdrotic forever. Because I am a nerd. So I'm a nerd when it's popular and when it's not. That's why some of the arguments I had with the Doctor Who people, it's like, okay, great. You're all down with this. Great. Talk to you in 5 years. See if you're still a Doctor Who fan. Cause I will be, but, I don't know. I'll still be a Star Trek fan, even through Star Trek Discovery. I'm not going to stop being a Star Trek fan. There's still a lot of good Star Trek to love. Use Your Illusion was right around the same time, and it was a good album. But what really helped kill that, Tom, was it wasn't great, and they toured and then they broke up. Metal probably could have lasted a little longer if Guns N' Roses had pumped out more material. And I liked Use Your Illusion 1 or 2, and I did like Guns N' Roses, and I saw them open up for Aerosmith in '86 at the Hollywood Bowl. That was fucking awesome. Oh my God, that was such a good show. There was the Big Bang Theory, and then Doomcock was born. Then Harvey was captured. The timing on that is very interesting. Doomcock's rise, Big Bang Theory's demise. Something to think about. Yeah. Nirvana had been around for a while, yes, but they when Smells Like Teen Spirit hit, that's what blew people away, and that changed music. And for the better for a little while too. I mean, Mary Ashby likes Ride the Lightning. I do too. Yeah, anything with Cliff on it is brilliant. I've seen Metallica live more times than I can count. I babysat Lars' kids. I did at a birthday party. We were doing the like all the birthday party stuff, and they can't come there with like a very sweet old nanny, right? But she couldn't like go do the fun stuff when we were doing wheelbarrow races and stuff. So I stepped in and was surrogate dad for a day, and it was fun. They all have giant heads like him. They all look like little Lars. They're probably full grown ass adults now. But oh shit, who did I see? I didn't see him. My coworker saw Carlos Santana at our work the other day. I missed him. Totally missed him though. Always late. Worth the wait. Normies. Yeah. I don't say that as a negative connotation. It's just, the people who aren't as into the nerd stuff as we are. Okay. We're all like different levels of it. I'm, and there's so many different levels of nerd. There's like how do you gauge it? Like how much time somebody has spent like reading a Star Trek book, or how much Star Trek stuff they own, or both. I think if you've spent a lot of time and money, I think that qualifies you as a big fan. But you can also be a big fan if you don't buy anything. You can be a huge fan if you don't buy anything, because some shit's expensive. But if you spend a lot of time on it, I think that qualifies you as a big fan as well. I finally become a normie drinker. Wellington Smithopoulos. A normie drinker is somebody who can walk away from a half a glass of beer. Something us addicts cannot do ever. The Gifted was good, and coming back for another series based on mutants, says Adam West. Yes, we will be covering The Gifted. We covered season 1, and I can't wait for it to come back. That is September 25th is our first show. Not too far away. In the 80s, I ended up sculpting an Eddie mask from Iron Maiden. That's my only brush with heavy metal, says Silver Spike. Oh, that's cool. I wish I could see a picture of that. I love Iron Maiden. I do. What's the difference between a nerd and a geek? Says Love Pond. That's a very interesting question, because there is. I'd have to think about that though. I'd have to think about that. That's a very good question. Man, that's a good debate. I think it's really subjective. I kind of see him as the same, but there are, yeah. I think a geek. Okay, here's the difference. This is going to be, here's what I think the difference is. A geek has certain personality traits. There are nerds, but like nerds can be anybody. I think a geek is a certain personality trait, and that's where I'm going to leave it right there. I saw all kinds come into the comic store, and I saw a lot of geeks. Yeah, I think what a geek is what the stereotypical nerd from the 80s looks like. Kind of like our brand. Little tape right here. One of these days, I'll put some tape right here. There's probably a lot of other differences that smarter people can figure out. But that's a great question, Upon. I love it. I ate I hate the brother in the show, but I like the sister, says Love Point. Yeah. Yeah, the brother is written. It's not a perfect show. It can be though, and it's written by the guy who did Burn Notice. So that's a pretty good writer. So I'm going to give it a chance. It took a while to get its feet, but it had some moments of greatness in it. It really did. The Cuckoos, they were fucking awesome. And Polaris is great. They still need to like come up with some costumes. All right. All right. I'm going to get to, let's just get this out of the way. Go to the bookmarks. Way down here. And Random and Doomcock pointed this out. This deadline article is written by somebody who like was half asleep or on drugs or something. Because the grammar in it is unbelievable. I don't know if they fixed it since then. I should have screen capped it because it was something else. But first, let's take a look at this picture. There you go. Let's trigger Random if she's out there lurking. And she's probably seen this already, though. Star Trek stars and aliens gather for Governor's Award. Discovery comes up short for Emmys. Well, there is some justice in the world, but they ended up giving Discovery an Emmy anyway. See that Emmy the great William Shatner is holding, who the Deadline article keeps referring to as the original Captain Kirk. It's the only Captain Kirk, for fuck's sake. Okay. Sorry. Look at the Kling arc in the background. Now, I don't know if any of you have not seen Star Trek Discovery. So that's what the Klingons look like now. And it looks like that looks like something from Nightbreed, which I like. It's a good movie, but it looks like something from Nightbreed. And maybe that's what they were shooting for. They got a very talented person to do the makeup and stuff. And I'm not a fan of this design, we'll just say. Big fan of what the Klingons look like. There's a way to change them 25% without doing this. The actors can't act through this. You can't understand them through this. And they didn't do any, audio dubbing with it or anything on some stuff. It was really, really bad. Oh my God. Look at LeVar Burton. Great actor, you. Okay. So tonight, the first of two nights of ceremonies were held for the Creative Arts Emmys. An edited version of the ceremonies will broadcast on FXX on September 15th, but winners have already been announced. Unfortunately, Fortunately, Star Trek Discovery lost out on both of the nomination categories, but the franchise was honored with a previously announced award. Star Trek honored with Governor's Award. This year, the Television Academy honored the Star Trek franchise with its prestigious Governor's Award. On stage to accept were representatives from each of the series, William Shatner and Walter Koenig, that's another one they got wrong in the Deadline article. From Star Trek, the original series, LeVar Burton from The Next Generation, Terry Farrell from Deep Space Nine, Jerry Ryan from The Voyager, and Linda Park from Enterprise, and Sonequa Martin Green from Discovery. Also on stage was Discovery co-creator, the man heading up the Star Trek, the TV franchise, Alex Kurtzman, along with a Kelpian and a Discovery-style Klingon. Thank you for putting that on TrekMovie.com. I'm going to applaud you for putting that in. I picking up what you're putting down there, TrekMovie.com. And they got to play it safe. I understand that, but I think putting the Discovery style Klingon in parentheses was a little wink. Thank you. Presentation of the award was preceded by an extended reel of footage from all the Star Trek series. Bill Nye, the engineer guy, gave out the actual award, saying of the franchise via Deadline, it may have started off as an entertainment series, but it changed the world, and I feel it changed the world for the better. Could not agree more. William Shatner led the delegation to accept the award after being greeted by a standing ovation. Well deserved. The original Kirk. The only Kirk. Okay, that's bad. bad Star Trek movie.com or whatever the hell you are. You need to fix that. The only Kirk told the crowd, I accept the award on behalf of all the artists who work to make the show a success. Joining Shatner and the other stars on the stage were dozens of members of crew currently working on Star Trek shows for CBS. And Shatner says he's grateful. The only thing he forgets to thank is the fans. They seem to do that quite a bit. Now I totally think you should name everybody creatively involved with Star Trek who's made us so happy with such a great show. So good job. But guys, don't forget the fans. Don't forget the people who paid for everything. Okay. Yeah. There you go. So William Shatner. Who's that? Is that wait a minute. Glenn Henrik. Yeah, I have no idea who that is, but yeah, just stop looking at that. I don't want to get triggered anymore. On the Deadline article, real quick, and I'll get back to the chat. And again, Random did a great video on this. Tom at Midnight's Edge, they've done videos on all this stuff too. But I just and damn it, I had a recorded one. I just did. I don't know. I kind of chickened out on putting it out. But I'll put it on the Patreon. You can see. Let's see if they fix these sentences here. Okay, so it was only appropriate that Bill Nye, the engineer guy, say a few words before the Governor's Award presentation for Star Trek and at the Creative Arts Emmy. After being introduced by Haima Washington, Nye told Star Trek, I've started off, it may have started off as an entertainment show, but it changed the world, blah, blah, blah. The monolithic sci-fi franchise, as Nye put it, looked at how takes a look at the universe and beyond. Okay. Looked at how takes a look at the universe and beyond. All right. That's the first one. Then it goes down there and they keep calling it, and Doomcock pointed to say, they keep calling Keoning. Where is that down there? Yeah, there it is. Keoning. And then the Sonequa Martin Green quote, which, I mean, I always question myself. It's like, okay, maybe I'm, not seeing a word right or something like that. Like, listen, I'm a dumbass, but yeah. So as the newest member of here, I'll highlight it here. As the newest member of the fleet, Sonequa Martin Green points out that she hopes Discovery gives hope to the franchise and furthers it. It was very important to us anew, but be our own at the same time. What? Huh? Okay. And then the constant Keonig. And this is Deadline Hollywood. That was an article written 3 days ago now. Come on, guys. Come on. I mean, look at those advertisers. At least they spelled that right. There you go. Oh, you can't see it anymore. So never mind. Yeah, that was pretty funny. I thought that was pretty funny. And, again, well-deserved for the award. The only thing I'll say is Sonequa Martin Green going out there accepted. I think they blew a huge opportunity to bring out, and you don't even have to bring her out with William Shatner, Nichelle Nichols, who was recently diagnosed with dementia. I think it would have been, maybe they asked her, I don't know, but it would have been brilliant to bring her out to accept the award. That is a lady who has made history, who has walked the walk, who has gone through all the shit in the fucking 60s. She has earned her right to go up there and accept that useless freaking award. She deserves so much more. But to give it to Sonequa Martin Green, you know what? If Sonequa Martin Green puts in like 3 or 4 years of really good Star Trek television, sure, go out there. And I'd feel the same way if Scott Bakula walked out there for Enterprise. I'd been equally as pissed. It should have. I'm sorry Patrick Stewart wasn't there. Have LeVar Burton go out there. He's paid his dues, but that's not what this was about. This was about a commercial for Star Trek Discovery. Because why would you give them an award on their 52nd anniversary and not their 50th anniversary? So that's all I've got to say about that. Let's go to the chat. I'm scrolling back. Oh, there you are. Just got back. Sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. I was kind of like fast and loose with this live stream. So I did invite others, but I didn't check my Twitter messages. So I apologize to Random. and Tom. But I'm doing a couple more live streams during the week, and I'll give you guys heads up because I really want to have you guys back on, my fellow tribunal members. And I had a great time on Midnight's Edge. That was an honor to be on that show, and I think it went okay. I don't know. I hope so. I hope I didn't bury your channel, guys. But it was so much fun. It feels very natural talking to Tom. Tom knows his fucking shit too, man. And and congrats on 75,000 subs on the main channel, Midnight's Edge. Bravo, everybody. Great channel. Great channel. That's where I remember going to that channel. God, how long has Midnight's Edge been around? Because I remember going, we would use them to get information for our early podcasts. That's where I'd go. Because the information's good. They do their homework, they do their due diligence, and that's to be appreciated. So please support them, and please support Mecha Random 42, who has just passed 7,000 subscribers again. Applause for Mecha. So happy for you. You're getting close to 10K. That's so good. Yes, so Midnight's Edge mentioned it on their morning brunch, a live stream. Please check that out. I will have links in the description when this turns into a video for all their stuff. I'm just gonna two of the new things. I stopped putting links off of YouTube on our description because it is strongly discouraged. Apparently it does affect the algorithm if you link off of YouTube. Now, if you link to other YouTube channels, to other videos, totally okay, because you're staying on YouTube. Now, I heard that from YouTube people, so I think that's pretty legit. That's why I stopped putting our website on there. I just talk about it, and that's why we do the video. But I am going to start putting all our patrons in the description, and the tribunal members' channels will be in our description for any video from here on out. Just because we support. Chris Pine's okay. I just think he's an alternate Captain Kirk. He's fine. Actually, the casting for the Kelvin universe is quite good, to be honest with you. I like the 2009 movie a lot as an alternate side story. I think it's very good. I own it. I enjoy it. I like the music. I like it. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger involved in this governor thing? No, but I did vote for him. Limac, I did. But I was pretty pissed. The reason Arnold became governor in California was because Gray Davis, the previous governor, deregularized the energy industry here, and our power bills went from $30 to $300 in the late 90s. That's a lot of cheese. That's a lot of cheddar for a parts driver. Okay. But he turned out to be kind of a shitty governor. But it was kind of funny. It was funny. It looks like somebody cosplaying as an orc from Lord of the Rings, and they're trolling the Star Trek fans. It does, Nihilist Shadow. It really does. That's a good point, Rough Girl. The geek in me enjoys watching the explosions. The nerd in me analyzes the explosions and the environment. Well said, Rough Girl. That's good. I like that. I noticed a huge fundamental decline in anything written for the web as far as editing, writing, substance. They've all seem rushed. Yes. That is a big problem. Those Klingons are bad as fuck. Scary, says Wellington. Yeah, they're bad. Love Jerry Ryan. Yes. I love Jerry Ryan. Not the Klingons. I was waiting for that, Nigel. Not the Klingons. Good change praised, bad change trash, and it's that simple, Ed Brewer. And I don't understand why they stick with some. If you come out with something and half the people hate it, that requires change. All right. If it's a vast majority of the people who love it and it's just a few, you're not going to make everybody happy. That is this is common fucking sense. But it is not just a few people disliking, uh not even just hating Star Trek Discovery. It's a lot. It is enough that requires change. As a matter of fact, they've done it. I don't know if they've done enough, but they have done the changes. They've fired writers, brought in Anson Mount, but I think it's going to be more of the same. I think that is just surface level stuff. I heard they did do ADR with the Klingon orc, but that's a monotone sound they made was a creative decision. Basically, they sound like shit on purpose. Says Nyla Shadow. Well, a creative decision. The next time I completely fuck something up at work, I'm going to go, well, it was a creative decision. Tampa. Oh my God. Oh, Tampa. Okay. I did. Tampa Dachshund Puppies. Hello. How are you? How are the puppies? Are they cute? If the actors can't act in the makeup, tone is down. Yeah. Well, yeah. Tone it down for fuck's sake. Yes. Just do ADR. They probably did. You're right, Nyla Shadow. They probably did the ADR, and it didn't look natural at all with all that makeup because the makeup's bad. Gotta go back to work. Take care. All Midnight's Edge. Thanks for coming in. Let's do a live stream soon, buddy. Let's do a live stream soon. There will be, I got to do the room tour, and I want to do that with the OBS. I want to do like a double test with that because I'm going to be walking around with the camera. It will get no clicks, but that's fine. That's okay. Maybe it'll be something that like people will watch later. Our back catalog has been getting crazy hits. I don't know why, but a lot of our older videos are getting watched now, which is cool. Proofread your articles, says Mecha Random 42. Yeah, I don't think that went by an editor, did it? What the hell is a governor's award? Never heard of it prior to this. David Fox, good question. It's been around for 30 years. It's an achievement award, and it's something that's bought and paid for. Maybe it's part of a contract, like, hey, I'll work for you. Like say an older actor wants to, like we'll come in and do a television show. It's like, I'm going to come in and do this television show, but I better win a freaking award. So say that actor doesn't win an award. It's like, hey, okay, so you didn't get it for acting. What if we give you an achievement award? And that actor is going to go, of course, I won an Emmy. Great. But I'm telling you, they pass like, I know people with daytime Emmys. They pass them out quite a bit. Yeah, maybe in 10 to 20 years, there'll be a fuller interview that clear up the whole mess. Says Lamac. I don't know what that's for. Sorry. So the article, that might have been something I said earlier and I can't remember now. The article was equally as shit as articles. The article on Forbes about why the fans of The Witcher being all evil for not liking oh, okay, gotcha, Burnfred Axe Wielder. The article was equal shit as the article for Forbes and why fans of The Witcher are being evil. Yeah, this attacking fan shit from the media is it's so obvious what they're doing. And as Doomcock said, do it at your peril. That this is going to cause your demise. And honestly, I think entertainment media, I think more people are gonna the reason I came to YouTube is I couldn't read that shit anymore. For one, it was so late, like Twitter would, Twitter comes first. It comes out the articles first, and or not articles, and then I would go, and now with the live streaming, people hit videos within minutes and you get way more information. I'd rather see somebody talking to me anyway. I don't mind reading, but the articles, Christ, like you were talking about with the Forbes article, the comicbook.com article was basically they copy and pasted the Deadline article and they corrected it. If you go check that out, Mecha Random, on the Star Trek Governor's Award, they copy and pasted the Deadline article, but they corrected it, which was funny. Discovery is the exact opposite of hope. Yeah, at the end when Kurtzman, those words coming out of his mouth were shocking. The fact that he said that in these dark times we all need hope. Yeah, whatever, man. Nigel likes Star Trek Discovery as a show, but I dislike the idiotic Spore Drive. I dislike the idiotic, not the Klingons. I think, well, the Klingon redesign is coming in, Nigel, and Spore Drive is done. That is gone. I don't think they'll be bringing that back anytime. They might refer to it it might blow up or something like that. But according to the tardigrades lawsuit, one of the offers was to get rid of the tardigrade, but they already did. So I don't know how that's going, by the way. I hope Anas Abdeen is doing well. But these things, if we don't hear anything, then that was probably a settlement. Discovery is a black hole of despair, says Nyla Shadow. Adam West says award shows don't mean anything these days. Yeah, and that's why they trotted out Star Trek, because they thought, oh, well, the nerds will watch. And then Kathleen Kennedy getting a governor's award, that too. I think it was, I agree with Random. A golden parachute for Kathleen Kennedy and a distraction. It just counteracts. It's punch, counter punch with the news. It's not Star Trek due to the shit dumping on the lore and not the Klingons and that stupid Spore Drive, says Nigel. Yeah, the crapping on canon. Fucking Marvel did it too. The fucking Iron Fist, man. And nobody's complaining about it because nobody watched it. I'm pretty sure nobody watched it. I'd be very interested to see the streaming numbers on it past episode 3 or 4. But dude, that was bad. That was bad. That was freaking bad. What's up, Halam899? How's it going? It's your first time again. Dark Road Run says, I love STD. Yes, I was going to check out Star Trek Online. Is it just a silly computer game? Star Wars dead, Star Trek dead, Doctor Who dead. Is Lord of the Rings next? Asked David Fox. God, I fucking hope not. Yeah, they better think long and hard. For one, Amazon only has a certain amount of time to produce the series, or the rights revert back to the Tolkien estate. So they have to produce something within 3 or 4 years, and they spend $1 billion. That's all. But I'm looking forward to it. Amazon has The Expanse, and they're not changing that. So I think they'll, hey, they produced Man in the High Castle. They've done some good stuff. They've done some really good stuff. Yeah, the Star Wars Resistance, a cartoon. I think somebody pointed out here in the chat that it looked like, anybody remember Iron Man Armored Adventures, which I kind of liked. I thought it was good. The animation looks exactly like that. Thanks the gods for The Expanse, says Pam Farm Girl. Yeah, I got, I'm reminded every day. And oh yeah, we still got to pass out the winner for the season 3 for that video. I forgot to do that. We'll do that next podcast. Got to write that down in my notes here. I'm not going to write it on this. This is my Doomcock certificate. Oh, by the way, all hail Doomcock, everybody. It's close enough to the top of the hour. All hail Doomcock, and yes, I have a frame picture of Doomcock. Oh man. All right, so it's 1:08. Well, I could go for a while longer. Actually, I'm fine. Is everybody fine? Is everybody fine in here? I'm good. I had a big cup of freaking cracked out coffee. it's a beautiful day off, so let's spend it inside talking to my favorite people in the world that aren't my family. The chat on YouTube. All hail Doomcock. Yep. What is Slapkirk? I don't know. What is Slapkirk? Don't slap Kirk. Gary, you saw Altered Carbon on Netflix? I did. Is it Limac or Limac? Sorry. I did. And we did a review and I loved it. Had kind of a wacky ending, but I still loved it. The aesthetics of that show were so fun. It is really expensive and you can tell it's shot like a movie. If everybody's so impressed with Blade Runner 2049, watch Altered Carbon. It's a Blade Runner 2049 with things happening. Yeah. What's up, Jesse? Live long and prosper. Live long and prosper. Damian Raw, live long and prosper. How are you? The characters are underestimating and hardly have a place to grow, and they all seem to exist as backup to Mikey Spock. The setting is wrong and cannot be called canon. The mood is wrong. Everything is wrong about it. Apple Crow, you're right. I mean, it can't. People say art is subjective. Well, just because you produce something and put it on television and call it art doesn't make it art. That's my opinion. Not everything, like I can draw a stick man and call it art, but it ain't art. It's not art. Art is subjective to a point. I would not call Star Trek Discovery art. I would call that a produced television series that had paid for the catering. It wrote some words on some paper that people had to repeat as lines. It was directed. It probably had some really competent people working, on the back end, working, line producing, editing, all that stuff, key grip. But it's not art. It's not. Yeah. Again, I will talk to things have to stand the test of time. And there's a bunch of stuff that I thought was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And you get 5 years away and you're like, I mean, like Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight from Nolan, I thought was the greatest thing I've ever seen. It would never be supplanted as my all-time favorite movie, and went back and it's a great movie. It's still a great movie, but it doesn't stand up for me that much. I mean, it's still in my top 10 of superhero movies, top 5, but it's not the greatest thing I've ever seen. So, but it was at the time. I was very into it. I was very, very into it. And Nolan's awesome and he rocks. And that's not no disrespect. It's just, go to slapkirk.com and play, says Rich Silverwood. I will do that after the show. Do you literally slap? Well, I'm going to check it out now. And I'm curious. I can talk and type at the same time. So, yeah. So what I will ask anybody who really truly loves Star Trek Discovery, if we're still on the air in 5 years, come on back. Let's have a conversation and see if you still like it as much. Okay. That's funny. That's great. God, love the fucking internet. Yeah. I see TNG, The Next Generation. When I was watching it, it was the greatest show ever. I loved it. Time has passed. I still love it. I will say The Next Generation has not aged as well as the original series. I could get in trouble for that. I still love The Next Generation. I love it. Love it all. Love it all. I own it. I watch it repeatedly. I love it. But I don't know if it's aged well. Part of it is some of the transfer, though. I mean, with the video, it's kind of fuzzy. I don't know. And that does bug me. But yeah, I still love it though. Altered Carbon rocks. It does. It's just fun. Not all the plot makes sense. Okay, it does have a kind of a fucked up ending, but I still enjoyed it. Maybe it should have just ended with I don't want to spoil anything. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It's worth the watch. It really is. It's beautiful. It's utterly beautiful. Agreed. Season 1 and 2 really has not aged as well. Not so bad near the middle and end, says Nigel. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. It definitely gets better as it goes on. Much, much better. TNG looks incredible on Blu-ray, says Nihilist Shadow. Yeah, it does. It does. I wouldn't say it looks pretty damn good, Nihilist. It looks pretty damn good. But I used to work. I used to do the remastering and stuff, so I am a bit of a stickler for that. Yeah. Remastering is just not upping the compression. They just don't put as many special features on one disc, and it is all down to compression. When you see a Blu-ray, you're most of the time, vast majority of the time, you're not seeing 1080p. You're seeing 1080i because they can't really fit it there. That being said, it's much harder to make and pre-master a DVD than it is a Blu-ray because you're limited on space. And I had to fill out all this fucking paperwork. It sucked. Every single one I pre-mastered, I had to write this report that took an hour and a half. Whew. Yes, I did work on some Star Trek. What was the last Star Trek I worked on? Was it? I think it was the Enterprise. Something I worked on something Star because I worked we worked with Paramount for the longest time, and did some HBO stuff. Game of Thrones season 1 I worked on. They have a 5 minutes of remastered footage in the DS9 documentary that they raised their fundraise campaign to their fundraising campaign to do 15 minutes of remastering. God, I hope so. Yeah, Nigel. How much does what cost? The next generation? That's a good question. Last time I checked, it wasn't that expensive. I mean, that's relative, but you're in the UK too, so you have you know what sucks is we can't get freaking Doctor Who 2005 series 2 through 4 here in the States on Blu-ray unless we're paying for some other. You have to get a regionless one. It's freaking lame. It is lame. Or you have to buy that big collection that's like thousands of dollars now. But TNG Blu-ray. I just got the original series for like $26. The complete series is $91.35 on Amazon. I'm sure you can find it cheaper somewhere else. Oh, there's only 3 left. Order soon. That's what it says. You know what? Go, man. I was gonna say buy it on I don't know. Does CBS get the money when you're buying the Blu-rays on Amazon right now? I guess they do, huh? Or does Paramount get it? Not sure. I would say buy it secondhand on eBay. If you can get a Region 2 player, I'll buy it for you and send it over. Thanks, Nigel. I'll hit you up. I am getting a regionless player just because I don't want to mess around. I had one and it broke. So yeah, I'm going to get a regionless player so I don't have to mess with that garbage. Because some of the international stuff is way better. Way better. Why buy it when you can watch it on Netflix? Or can you not watch it in Netflix in the US? Oh, we can. We can. I like to own stuff, Mako. I like to own stuff I really, really love. It's irrational and stupid and a complete waste of money, and I have no defense for it. I just like to own it. The woman who is replacing Les Moonves is 2 years. In 2 years is from MTV Viacom. They bought Paramount when they said when they were making Star Trek 5. The IP has been going downhill ever since. Philip A. Dimmick, I totally agree. Paramount has been systematically, man, and having worked with Paramount, yeah, they're kind of a hot mess, and they've had one of the greatest IPs of all time, and they just didn't know what to do with it, and they got cheap. Part of the problem with the next generation movies is they started cutting budget. Um, I haven't checked Dark yet. It's on my list though, David Fox. It is. Okay, so yeah, this is a good time. Ass access. Did you find something more? I mean, all I get is that they force it onto us Aussies, then into the so-called Five Eyes nations, UK, USA, Aus, etc. I have not seen anything, and I have looked, Burnfred, for anything other than that video. The Quartering did a video on this. I guess it's kind of important to talk about, and Burnfred did request this, and we honor requests here. So real quick, there's a thing called ASS access. It's an acronym for an Australian measure to give the government access to your apps without permission, to your privacy without any kind. It's a backdoor Patriot Act to your apps and to your cell phone and to your technology through Australia. Now you're asking yourself, well, this is Australia. Who gives a shit? Well, according to the video that I watched, Australia does not have a Bill of Rights. So it's easier to pass this law here. What it basically does is it allows any government person at any time to access your app, your personal information through Facebook or whatever. If these government or these companies do not cooperate, they will get fined to oblivion. If you blow a whistle, they will put you if somebody tries to be an Edward Snowden, they'll put you in jail for a decade. And you'll be able to access United States, and people in the UK, they're going to be able to access our information too through Australia. So we'll find out more information on this as it comes. We don't get political here, but I think we can all agree that the Patriot Act fucking sucks, right? I mean, are we anybody fan of the Patriot Act? I'm not. I'm really into privacy. I have nothing to hide, but it's none of your fucking business. I mean, it's kind of like that. So, and I don't trust governments. So, I mean, yeah. So I'm not into the, and it's also a way of throttling the web. They can really, if you really go down the rabbit hole on this, they being the governments have been trying to put the genie of the internet back in the bottle for years. I don't think they can, because I think if you want to unite a lot of people on one subject, try to take away our internet and you will see a united front like you've never seen before. So it's a way to mess with our internet, and anything that messes with our internet is bad. And the shit that's going down in Europe and Australia with just arresting people for fucking tweets and all that garbage. I mean, it's hard to believe that some of that is true. I don't care how bad the tweets are. I really don't. Somebody going to jail for, or even going to court for that is so it makes you appreciate what we have now. I'm not saying it's going to be around forever, but yeah, as long as we're too busy, censoring ourselves right now. I think that's a bit of a problem too. Hi Tara, how are you? So Burfred, I'm sorry I can't bring more information. I will stay on top of it though, because it is important. The only thing ever real world news we will ever bring you here is stuff that threatens YouTube, the internet, or anything involved with threatening the possibility of the internet, because I would start a revolution. You took away my fucking internet. I would, yeah. We would rally a bunch of noodle art nerds. Yay! Take away our internet. You'll see how hard we can bite. Tom and I will be discussing it tonight on his stream. Awesome. Oh, you're streaming tonight. Good. I'll be there. I'll watch. Or no, is that something else? What's Penn Farm Girl talking about? I feel a rant coming here. Calm down. Hey, yeah, don't come to the UK. Never had the protections the Americans think they have. I'm still gonna go to the UK, Nigel. There was a concern. I can't get into this now. Yeah, I'll talk about that in the future sometime. When I went to the UK, we weren't sure if I could get in. But I did. I did, and had a wonderful, lovely time. Oh my God, Stonehenge was fucking amazing. And I know it's like the most typical touristy thing, but man, I could not wait to go there. It was like Disneyland. I almost ran out of the car like a kid going, Stonehenge. Yes. And I sat there and stared at it for hours. It was fucking awesome. Do, do, do. What? No Bill of Rights? Well, the Patriot Act kind of does that. Yeah, it does. It does. Rough girl. It kind of fucks our Bill of Rights. So sorry. Oh, you were looking at the She-Ra trailer. It looks like garbage, and the voice acting is it triggered me. Yeah, Mecca, I saw it right before I went on. Holy shit. Yeah, I'll save that for you. I have zero opinion on Hera, but it looked other than it looks like a little boy, and you know the animation is okay, but it's more of the same. Mecca, it really is. Like it sucks that you guys. I will okay. Unsolicited advice to all of the YouTubers who have the time: take the time to watch Iron Fist season 2, and not because it's good, but take the time to watch it. I'd love to hear what other people, but I'd like nobody. I mean, it's fucking 8 hours, and who's got 8 hours? And you might not have Netflix, but I'd really love to hear some other opinions on it besides Grace Randolph and IO9 on that show, because what's going on with She-Ra happens times 10 in Iron Fist season 2. And I know like not everybody's in the superhero stuff, and that's probably why it's flying under the radar, because I think maybe general interest, especially in superhero stuff that doesn't have a costume. That, by the way, I am going to do a recorded video on that is coming within the next 48 hours on just why Hollywood still has a problem with superhero costumes. Like we're this far into superheroes and they still like, and I'm worried about Daredevil season 3. That's the last thing in the title. What my concern with Daredevil season 3 is the teaser has his old costume on, which is fine for a little while. But if we get if they scrap the Daredevil costume, I will be fucking pissed. And yes, it's that important to me. Costumes are part of your brand. And it tells me that you're really not fully into the thing you're making, which has been the problem for all of these things all along, is you're not really that into what you're making. Okay. You want the paycheck, you like it on your resume, but you're not really a Star Trek fan. You're not really a superhero fan. Then either become one, do your due diligence, be a professional. You don't have to be into everything you make, although I think it really does help. But the professionals would do their due diligence, read the comic books, learn about the culture, talk to a few people, and realize, the costume's important. It's part of the brand. We need this to work. Iron Fist season 2 is just a dipshit walking around in his like really ratty looking clothes, whose fist glows once in a while, and not for the whole series. Fuck. I'm talking about triggered. Iron Fist. I'm still pissed about Iron Fist season 2. But nobody else cares. Pure apathy on that. Burnford Axfielder, Iron Fist season 2 and She-Ra. What's that? She-Ra is a cartoon related to He-Man, Masters of the Universe. It was a toy line in the 80s that became a cartoon that was very popular. Iron Fist is a superhero show. It's about a guy who's got a glowy fist with superpowers, and he was trained in a mystical city, and they've taken all the magic away from it, and everything that made the thing special and made it popular, they took it away and gave us a Lifetime special, which was really bad. Hollywood doesn't like the nerds. They only want their money. Mako, I couldn't said it better myself. Thank you. That's exactly it. And it's really obvious. I mean, you know what Hollywood used to be good at? Faking that shit. I mean, that's what they are. It's fake. But I don't think they care to anymore. I just think it's the disdain for nerddom and the fact that we have been controlling the money that goes into Hollywood. It's made a lot of people incredibly angry and resentful. I saw it. Oh my God. I was sitting in an editing room, sitting next to a guy who was straight up dude, bro, going, I can't wait till this fucking nerd shit ends. And that was in 2011. Um, and I'm like, yeah, it's just begun, buddy. I wasn't keen on the Iron Fist comic, let alone the dodgy sounding knockoff Silver Spike. Yeah, and that's what it is. And honestly, the comic has like a couple good story runs. Iron Fist is better with Luke Cage. They did a comic book called Power Man and Iron Fist. They belong together. It's a great story. It's a great story of two cultures, actually three, converging and coming together to fight justice. But now we don't fight justice anymore. We don't fight bad guys. We fight misunderstood people or circumstances or anonymous company or big bad company where corporations are the bad guys. You can't like punch a corporation. Okay. Now if it's a corporation making a robot that's killing everybody, okay, that's fine. But yeah, Hollywood doesn't want to do bad guys anymore either, and they don't want to do justice. They don't want to do good versus bad. Everything's got to be complicated and gray and postmodern. It's like superheroes don't work in postmodern. They don't. They really don't. There's one good story. It's called The Watchmen. Nigel brought Nigel is definitely misunderstood. Oh, I understand you, Nigel. I do. We're all making plans. Uh, yeah, the Luke episodes with Iron Fist were really good, says Dharma Ocean. God damn, that episode 10 from Luke Cage season 2 was brilliant. Was fucking brilliant. Everything I wanted. And it was them fighting some bad guys. And they even did some good socio-political. They did that where all of a sudden, Danny walks into a room and he gets instant respect. And he's like, thought it was because of the superpowers. And Luke Cage looks over and he's all, no, it's because you're a fucking billionaire. That's respect. And I like that. That was cool. A storm, Bishop Pax, a storm is coming from Venture Brothers. A storm is coming. I hope you brought your rubbers. I am St. Cloud. Oh my God. Me and Dennis we've been doing that fucking for all weekend. Yes, our storm. Rough girl. I hope yeah, Penn Farm Girl, are you in the storm's wake as well? Not to dox you or anything. Avengers and Thanos is good. As opposed to what, Nigel? As opposed to as far as costumes? Well, I'll tell you what. I don't like Thanos walking around in his yoga outfit all the time. He needs to be wearing armor. He's going to battle. The armor he was wearing, that was a huge criticism I had. And I brought it up in Iron Fist last night, the complete lack of costumes in Infinity War for most characters. The reason, I guess you get a preview of the video, the reason the first Spider-Man movie worked, the first Iron Man movie worked, the first Superman movie worked. They got the costumes right. It looked like the fucking character. They got the character right. They got the person inside the costume right. And they got the costume right. If Robert Downey Jr. walked around in some weird hybrid Micronaut looking thing, it wouldn't have been as successful as it was with it looked like fucking Iron Man. Christopher Reeve, shit. Here, we'll just turn it over right now. You're going to get a little peek at my Wolfman in my closet there. There, Christopher Reeve, right there. That's fucking Superman. That's beautiful. And that's a beautiful costume that you look, it's really bright and yellowy, and he was wearing his underwear on the outside. Well, we can't have that. Bullshit. Just that thing that's worked for 75 years is all of a sudden not going to work because you're working on it. Assholes. Fucking fuck that bullshit. They need to do that and they will get more success. Why did Deadpool work? Because he looked exactly like fucking Deadpool and they had the right person in the costume. If it was Ryan Reynolds running around with just like a Hawkeye suit on, it wouldn't have done as well. Hawkeye, a great example of like, Hawkeye is popular because of his costume. He's that kind of a nothing character until recently. He's a bit rebellious and he's good with arrows. And yeah, he wears a ridiculous purple costume that looks awesome. I don't know why they can have a big green guy, but they're going to draw the line on Hawkeye wearing a mask. I mean, you don't even have to make it purple, but you give him a mask, and I think they're finally giving him a costume, but it's going to be Ronin's costume, which is good, but I don't know. See, that's a sticking point. That gets to me, is like they're afraid to go full comic book. Pussies. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds has funny feet. He does. That's he does. I don't Ed McGuinness's Deadpool is my definitive Deadpool. And no, not the creator, Rob Liefeld. I'm glad Rob Liefeld has got a resurgence and people like him again. His art freaking sucks. Okay, it's bad, but he's a good creative mind and by all means, like a nice guy. I will say this: his art is better than a lot of the stuff Marvel's pumping out right now. I would probably long for some of his bad feet. That's what I liked about the first Avengers movie. They all wore pretty much their authentic bright costumes, which until the end had been unknown in the movie, says Silver Spike. Yes, absolutely. Cap got a ton of criticism for his costume. I liked it. It looked like freaking Cap. That was so cool. Now I like his first Avengers costume, and I'm cool that rolling with that. But Black Widow didn't look like anything like Black Widow in Infinity War. Like, who the hell was that? Yes, they've had a blonde Black Widow, but that wasn't Natasha. That was another Black Widow. And then her costume was weird. She had some weird chest armor. It looked awkward and bad. Scarlet Witch looks like a CW superhero, to be honest with you. I mean, she's the person playing her is fine, but that's not this. We can't have the tiara. Come on. It's cool. It's fucking cool. It's iconic. Vision looks great. The Hulk looks great. Iron Man looks perfect. Cap had a beard. So the one time he needs to wear his mask and go incognito, he just grows a beard. And he should have been wearing his mask. I mean, I'm fine with the whole blacked out thing because he was Nomad at that point, but Black Panther, perfect. That costume is perfect. That is spot the fuck on. And what did it do? Billions of dollars. Because it's a badass costume. Why Nolan's Batman, even though that's the one argument against, I hated Nolan's Batman costume. I hated it, but the Joker was so great and it was such a good movie that kind of got past it. I think Ben Affleck's Batman costume is the best Batman costume in the movies so far. They were all toned down, particularly Thor. Notice in Infinity War, they were all toned down, particularly Thor. Says Silver Spike. Yes, cut his hair. He lost his eye. He's not wearing a cape anymore. I think he does eventually get one later. And his costume again was spot the fuck on in the first movie. And as time goes on, and this is the actors, I think, they start making, once they get a little juice, they start making demands. And Hemsworth asked for cutting hair, and maybe Scarlett Johansson didn't want to wear a red wig anymore. Remember, Karen Gillan shaved her head for Guardians of the Galaxy, but didn't for the rest. So she was, and it's because they're into it. At the first, when Karen Gillan got that role, it was her first big role. She was super excited. She shaved her fucking head, showed it to everybody at con, and we all loved it because, wow, she might not be a comic fan, but she's obviously into this enough to where she will shave her fucking head. Respect. But then they stopped. Tobey Maguire, before he was Spider-Man, completely fucking worked out. That little dork got all yoked up. Respect. Got major respect. Henry Cavill, he's big anyway, but he got bigger. Chris Hemsworth got huge. That's respect. That's what we want to see. Effort. Effort does fucking count. It doesn't need to be perfect. I like the first Thor movie. It's a silly sitcom, but I like it. Anthony Hopkins actually put in did not mail it in the first one, and the next two he did for sure, but he didn't mail it in. I guess he's good for not mailing in on the first one, but the second, like Westworld, he mailed it into. Burnford Axe Wielder completely disagrees with me. Ben Affleck's costume sucks. You could see the latex. It's silly. I like Tim Burton's costume. I like techno costumes. I disagree. Burnford, we can agree to disagree. Ben Affleck's is the most accurate to the comics. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It's based a little bit on Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns costume, but it is far more accurate. And it's a little more accurate to Arkham Asylum, but it's far more accurate than Burton's costume, where they couldn't even turn his head. Okay, he couldn't, and it took them. It was the second Nolan movie before they figured out how to turn his head. Now, like the Burton costume's fine, it's okay, but it's not right. Batman doesn't wear all black. He wears gray. He wears dark blue and gray, or dark black and gray, depending on the person. And yes, I want the goddamn yellow bat symbol on fucking A. But no, I liked it. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. As far as like looking not acting, but looking the most accurate to Bruce Wayne, Ben Affleck is by far the most accurate. Michael Keaton was subverting expectation casting, and it worked for the time, and he did a good job. And yeah, I even liked Val Kilmer. I mean, I didn't like the movie. There you go. Batman Forever is a movie I liked when it came out, but then years later, I'm like, you not good. But I would have defended it with my life back in 95 when it came out. The Flash costume on Justice League was utterly awful, but it's great on the TV show. Like, great. Tara says Affleck sucks. He does on a lot of reasons for a lot of levels. Did not like him. I like Nolan's costumes. Affleck's was good. I just lost the goddamn. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. Mako. I like Nolan's costume. Affleck's was also good. I didn't like the Burton costume. It felt very latexy. It was. At the time, though, I was just so happy to see Batman on screen. Yeah, Affleck. It's weird how Affleck had such a research. He's had a weird career, hasn't he, Tara? I mean, he's giving chances and he fucked up. We've all fucked things up. But as far as talent, I think he might be a better writer than he is an actor. So how many of you out there think some of the reshoots for Avengers 4 are killing Drax? We were talking about that last night. So that's one of the big news. Some big news today is they're reshooting the end of Avengers 4, which tells me this: they're already test screening. They've had to have shot the ending already. They can't be. I mean, this movie's coming out in like 8 months, and it's pretty effects heavy. So I don't know if it's the very end. Could be wrong. Just pure speculation on my part. Dave Bautista has been popping off on Twitter for like months now, and they're reshooting the end of Avengers 4. Coincidence? I think not. I think Drax is gone. I predict Drax will not be played by Dave Bautista in Guardians 3. There will be a Guardians 3 though. All right, let's get this notice in. Okay, well, I got to catch up on some chat here. Infinity War is fantastic. Love the movie so much. I love the movie, but it's not perfect. It's far from it. It's got some leaps in logic, and I am a stickler for superhero costumes. I am, but I'm a comic fan. I'm a huge comic book fan. You got to understand where I'm coming from on that. I mean, that's the shit I've been reading forever. And we finally get the whole gang back together, and they don't look like. I mean, a lot of them don't look like the characters anymore. So. But that's why I was always fan of I like the masks that cover the face. Like, I love, it's simple, but I love the Black Panther costume. I love the new things they've done with it too, the functionality of it. Cause in the comics, it was just a costume and he was just a badass. He had no tech or anything like that. The Spider-Man costume looks fantastic. I actually do think, I think that's the best Spider-Man costume just because it looks like the Romita era and just the eyes. I mean, the little black lines in it I could do without, but it's all the Spider-Man costumes have been pretty decent. I have no complaint, except one of the Amazing Spider-Man one didn't look good. Take that back. A sound and picture is not matching. Could you fix that on my side? I don't know. Is that bad with anybody else? Let me check. Let me check. That happens sometimes when I have too many windows up. Somebody let me know if things are okay now. Let me get to... I'm checking on my stream real quick. Anyone? Are you still with me? All good here. Okay. Thank you, TJ Warner. Sound and video are okay on my end. Good. Thank you for getting back. I appreciate it. I don't really know what Drax is there to, why Drax is there to begin with. Not the need. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't really know what Drax is there to begin with. Not read the comics. Don't flame me. Drax, it does play a very important role. He has a direct connection to Thanos, and that is from the comics. And Dave Bautista has done a great job portraying him. I hope he stays. I do. I don't care that he popped off to Disney. I don't like Disney. I've never been a fan of Disney. He can pop off all he wants, and he's just defending his friend, and that's fine. I got no problems with that. But I mean, it's not good to, if I start popping off about Elon every live stream, even though it's very quaint, it's just us few friends here. Believe me, they'll hear about it and they'll fire my ass. People at work know I do this. It continues. Well, these days, half the costumes in these things are virtual. That's a very good point, Silver Spike. Can't argue with that. Tara says, good. Thank you, Tara. Seems okay. Okay. Dave Bautista would be a badass Batman too, a real pumped up one. I would believe he beats the crap out of people. Yeah, if you really want to go, oh, that's I like that, Limok. I mean, we've had so much different casting with Batman. Let's get a ridiculously yoked up Batman, who's been fighting crime for 30 years. Yeah, I like that. Why not? The Blade TV series, it was okay, Adam. I liked it. But not enough people did. Not enough people did, Adam West. That was too bad. I would never no, I would not. I would not badmouth Elon. Well, unless he did so, I don't know. I would not badmouth him for the things he gets badmouthed for. Actually, those are he knows what's up. Those are what makes people love him. Okay, and God, there is a bit of a cult of Elon at Tesla. That might come to news as news to no one, but yes, there is a bit of a cult. Yeah, Batista would be fantastic for a Frank Miller one. You're right, Mako. Yeah, that would be great. I think that's awesome. Well done. I like that. I'm practicing being invisible. I've moved so slow you can't see me. Why is Gamora? Yeah, he was a standout of Infinity War by far. He will be missed, but I mean, now that his death would actually probably have a lot of, it would have some impact. You can't bite the hand that feeds you. No, you can't. But you can slap it and walk away. Just kidding. Nigel, yes, I think Elon seems a bit narcissistic and self-impressed, arrogant, git with a short temper. Nigel said that, Elon. I'm just repeating his. Anybody who is a billionaire is narcissistic. I think that is part of the quality. To want more money than you will ever need. Yeah, I think there's something there. Definitely. Oh, it did. It went up to, it was down 2%. What is it? What's my stock doing now? There we go. The only stock I own. I'm not a stock market guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It went way up. Oh, that's good. It's still got some climbing to do, but that's great. Because if he could survive, if your CEO can survive smoking a blunt on the internet, I think it's pretty rock solid. And yeah, that kind of stuff. You know what's good? Whatever comes out of the next 2 years, if we all survive, I think what's good is shit like people smoking pot on a show is not going to ruin somebody's career anymore. Like we've seriously moved past that bullshit. So, I mean, we got to take the good when we can. Okay. So that's brilliant that a guy can drink and smoke, a CEO of a major company, and it doesn't like get him fired the next day. How ridiculous is that shit? So, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good. We can take a good out of it. We could take a win. We'll take the small wins. I mean, there's so many losses now that they should remake the Witchblade TV series. I kind of like that too. I mean, that's another great example of, well, I mean, you can't do that costume, but it was just like a bracelet, basically. It's not like he was smoking crack, says David Hill. Right. He didn't even inhale. And he did say he doesn't smoke marijuana because it's not productive, which I loved hearing him say that, by the way. And, marijuana affects all people differently. So the way it affects me is it makes me lazy as fuck. So that's why I never was a fan. I worry about what's to come after Avengers 4. Will the interest still be there, or if they dump some major players people love? Yeah, I talked about that earlier. Silver Spike, as far as ending the era of the nerd, and it is tied to some major properties. Big Bang Theory is gone, and all of us are happy for that. But that was keeping nerd culture out there in the ether. No, it's the law of diminishing returns. I think Marvel will still be doing well, still make millions. The movies will still do well. Okay, don't get me wrong on this one. But as far as it being on its upward trajectory, it ends with Avengers 4. That is your peak. That is what we've all been building towards. And what Disney's going to do, folks, is they're not going to completely solidly end it. Okay. Because this is how comic books work. So what they do is they kind of end it, but then they leave another morsel of a story, just enough to keep you interested. Kind of like what Netflix has been doing very poorly. It's all build up with no payoff, zero payoff with Netflix. With Marvel, you've been getting payoffs. That's why it's making so much money, but you can only do it for so long. And what they're going to find out is people came to these movies because they like how the character looks great, but you still have to have some charm behind that character too. You can't have a wooden plank behind the character, a la Mikey Spock. You got to have somebody who's charming, somebody who's a good actor, somebody like Hemsworth. Some people don't like his portrayal of Thor is not really a true portrayal of Thor, but people like him. It's charming. Robert Downey Jr. fucking owns. He's the reason we have the MCU. We have no MCU without Robert Downey Jr. And it really is that simple. There's a lot of creative people behind him, but he was the front man. He was the salesman. He was the one that brought it to the masses. So, I mean, because if you look at the plot of Iron Man, it's really simple, right? And they actually wrote that script as they went along. Let's back to some more chat here. I like Witchblade, said Pen Farm. Yeah, it was not bad at all. It was surprisingly good, to be honest with you. I barely inhaled. I inhaled the shit out of a lot of fucking weed. I never smoked crack, though. Never smoked crack. I tried to smoke crystal once. It was disgusting. Could not do it. And never shot anything up either. Could not do it. But, I like tattoo needles are fine, but needles, no. I don't smoke or care for it, but people should be able to do whatever and I'll add, the hell they want to. You're damn straight. TJ Warner. Too many people in everybody's business. Well said. Well said. It's okay to get high once in a while. Tara, absolutely it is. And you know what? Even on the illegal stuff, I think more stuff should be legal. And that way we can at least regulate it. And some stuff can't. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I also see a lot of the bad from that stuff too, going to meetings and stuff. I see what happens at the end of the story. And it's pretty fucked up. But some people can just have fun, and that's great. They should be able to do that. Yeah, David Fox says, plus an interview, Joe and Elon drink for 2.5 hours. No one's talking about. Come on, internet. Half puff of mixed tobacco. Come on, internet. Yeah. Watch the podcast. And like you guys were mentioning earlier, just listen to it. It's really fucking good. I love that when Elon points out that what's the problem with it? For one, very even-handed guy. You didn't get can anybody guess what his politics are? I mean, I kind of know, but no, he was pretty even-handed with stuff. I just loved when he said politicians need to know more about science. God, fuck yeah. That's why studios can control actors with bullshit awards. Once actors make more money than they can spend, it's all about ego and getting something shiny and that other actors can't get. Philip A. Dimmick, well said. Yeah, what's J.K. Rowling? Why does she need to do anything anymore? Why does she need to do a single tweet? I mean, she's set forever. Her kids are set forever. Their ancestors are set for years. What brings her back to the limelight to want to write screenplays and do all this work? And it is a lot of hard work. Well, adoration. That's why she needs the adoration. And that's not a judgment. That's why she's there. And that's fine. That's cool. I want more stuff from JK. I kind of like her. I didn't like the last Fantastic Beast movies, but I'm looking forward to the next one mildly, And I know a lot of people don't like Harry Potter now, but I liked Harry Potter. I read it with my oldest son, so we that was kind of a bonding thing. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Good audiobooks too. God damn good audiobooks. Jim Dale. The one on the other on one hand, I trust Feig, but on the other hand, Brie Larson is on the feminist crusade, says Mako. Yes, she is. Which, she can do that later. So Chris Evans didn't say shit until he became a cemented Captain America. And then he started saying stuff. Robert Downey Jr. didn't really say shit at first. Mark Ruffalo has always said shit. I mean, that's just Mark Ruffalo. But yeah, as far as politics and stuff, which they're absolutely free to do. But you do risk alienating half your audience, which you don't want to do. Brie really, if you watch all of her interviews there, okay, she can be fun sometimes. It's just not when she's talking about that stuff. It's escapism. Okay. And it's great to see Miss Marvel / Captain Marvel on the screen. They absolutely need, they announced they're going to do more female characters. Well, duh, there's tons of female characters and they got some of their best ones back. Okay. They got some of their best ones back with the X-Men. Thank you for the super chat. Wow. First super chat today. Tomcat. I can't keep up with the chat today. Too much other shit going on here, including watching more STD and neighbor doing her laundry. My ex-wife. Oh, wow. Your neighbor's your ex-wife, Tomcat? That is awkward. That is awkward. I lived with my ex-wife for a week during our divorce, and yeah, I feel your pain. Thank you for the $5, my friend. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats. Always. Okay. And on that note, we're gonna thank you again, Tomcat, for the super chats. I'm gonna read some more of that once I'm gonna get my Patreon video going. It is time to call it a day because I've got other videos and channel stuff to do. And yeah, Mary Ashmead is a patron. She is not on this video yet. I really got to get going on that shit. So upcoming shows. Well, yeah, we got Better Call Saul tonight. And then Castle Rock finale Tuesday. Tonight, I heard Mecha Random, or in a little bit, Mecha Random and Tom for Midnight's Edge After Dark are doing a live stream. So please check that out. Doomcock did a live stream last night. Check that out as well. These are members of the Tribunal. Look for a couple recorded videos. And, you know, I while we're looking at our wonderful patrons. Yeah. So the future of the channel. Our growth has been great. I need, we need to, I want to try to hunker down and speed it up again because, I want to dedicate more time to it. I want to start dedicating more time to the channel. So we will continue to always be a live first channel. I know that's bad for growth sometimes, but if you guys don't mind, I will be pumping out some recorded videos, some short recorded videos, but I definitely want to hear your feedback, whether you like it, whether you don't, you know, or, you know, just anything you hear, that would be great. Cause I get actually, you know, we don't get a ton of feedback. We do from our patrons, and that's awesome. By the way, if you join our Patreon, there's the comics you get on the $5 level, and then there's a representation of what you can get in the what's in the box. You get the comics from the previous level, and you also get some toys from my personal collection and from the old comic store. And you get if you stay with us a year, you get 2 of those boxes. If you stay with us for you gotta be with us for like 3 months before you get your first box. And we've got some new patrons, and thank you so much. And Tomcat was one of them. Thank you very much. And it is great. Yeah, I never thought I would do this full time. And like I said before, I don't think I'll ever be able to do it full time, but I want to do it more. So we're working things out, and in the next 3 months, there will be more content, more consistent content. And when we schedule it, we'll be more on time because I won't have other distractions. I'm looking forward to this. And I think even at the trajectory we are on right now, things are looking really good. The plan, it's so weird when a plan actually starts coming together because I never thought it would. So it's great, and we really appreciate your support, and thank everybody in here. So we'll start with Anon Fox. Thank you. Working, lurking, hungover. Show keeping me sane, says Anon Fox, and you keep me sane. Thank you so much for £2. £2. Yeah, I can't tell you how grateful I am that like this thing started. It's so much fun. And now that, like, you know, we're with Tom and with Mecha and with Doomcock, it's really turned into something really, really cool. So yeah, just humbled. And yeah, even though I'll come on here and bitch and complain sometimes, I'm always having fun. Don't doubt that. I am always having fun. So Gary, you can give us pre-recorded videos along with the live streams. We're happy with whatever we get. Thank you, Penn Farm Girl. Yeah, well, I mean, I give a shit what you guys think. Especially, you know, I mean, everybody in here, and I love seeing new people in the chat. And you know, what's great is our older chat members are always very welcoming. Man of Action, what is up, my friend? All right, so Penn Farm Girl, Silver Spike, Stun the Wombat, Man of Action, Halam 899, TJ Warner, Tara Aiva, Penn Farm Girl, Rich Silverwood. I like that idea, Garrett. Can't wait to watch the live chats. I can't watch the live chats very often due to being in the UK. A healthy mix of contact will do wonders for your growth. Thank you, Rich Silverwood. Yeah, I have to start doing that. You're absolutely right. And it's you guys who have brought it up. So yes, we listen. Philip A. Demick, Nigel Brought Savage. Love you, man. Stun the Wombat, Damian Raw, David Fox, Rover, USS Rover, Dharma Ocean, Lemac Ajax, Nihilist Shadow, Tomcat. And we're getting up to more people. Rams World. The whole interview was great. The reason sometimes I'll read the chats that I forgot to read. I had not paid much attention to him before. Now I'm a huge fan. And that was before he smoked some weed with Joe Rogan. Says Rams World. Nice. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a definite fan. Artemis over easy. Mary Ashmead. Mako. Wonderful Mako. And I'm scrolling up. David Fox. Adam West. Ion Trone. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while. Apple Crow. The mighty Apple Crow. And if I missed anybody's chat, I apologize. Copy paste it, put it in the comments. I'll see it. Yeah, I'm really sorry if I missed somebody's chat. If I missed your name there, it only lets me go up so far. So really, thank you for coming in again. I really appreciate your time. This is lots of fun. Look forward to next Monday. There will be another live stream later in the week. Hopefully, Tom and Mecca can join me. We'll figure out a time. Of course, the invitation's always open to Doomcock, but Doomcock is really freaking busy. But of course, the invitation's always open. And look for a possible, if I can get it together, a room tour later today. And check out Better Call Saul and, of course, Castle Rock and Nerdrotic.com, where our live schedule is. And again, have a great day, everybody. And may the small folks sing songs of greatness.